for round 5 of the Formula Ford Zetec Championship required because too many entrants for the small Croft track. Only the fastest 8 from the qualifier will go into the main race. You saw Charles Hollings on pole. This is Edward Peed alongside him. Been given some advice by his mentor, Dennis Russian, who once ran the great Ayrton Senna in Formula Ford. Tony Rogers starts in 3rd position, and those 3 have got to be the best placed for a chance to get through into the main event. Well, this will be a tense race for those towards the back. The red goes to green, and away they go. Charles Hollings looking to take the lead. Edward Peed, as Dennis Russian suggested, going nice and wide around the outside, and so he does get the lead. Hollings in 2nd. And, well, big confusion further back as everybody tries to scrabble for position. There'll be no point in hanging around in this one. It's only a short race, and it's a real final cut-off. If you don't get into the top 8, then you pack up and go home. The guys at the front, Edward Peed with Charles Hollings coming back down the inside at Tower. He takes that place. So Collins and Peed reversing their order and going back into the way that they started. Tony Rogers in 3rd place, the white car with the blue stripes going strongly. Then in 4th place, Luke Hines, the 2nd of the Young Gun Racing's cars. Those Dayglow noses and the white and blue colour scheme. 27, Edward Peed holding on to 2nd place. Then behind them, the 2 red cars, Robert Urquhart and Stuart Bell, and off, and a very long way off, has gone Sasha Ham. Ham firmly off in the barriers there. No chance of a feature race for him. Oh, and a little wiggle there going through the Jim Clark S's. And that's not good news for Robert Urquhart's red car. He holds on though, just ahead of Luke Hines. And there, the number 20 machine. That's James Murphy, and he's got Stuart Hall right with him. All these guys in the race at the moment. You don't want to push too hard. After all, they'll be starting behind the fastest 20 qualifiers. And the chance is always there if you're really aggressive in this qualifier that you'll talk yourself into a move into a gap that doesn't exist. 4th and 5th, Robert Urquhart and Luke Hines coming across the line. And the lead trio dropping them away. Oh, look at this though. Hines down the inside. And always a danger when these open wheel cars get close together, that there may be a little bit of a tangle. Slick tyres they may have, no wings, but they've still got much more power than grip. They move around the road a lot like karts, where most of these drivers will have just graduated from. Tony Rogers down the inside of Edward Peed. Looks as though Dennis Russian's advice didn't stretch this far around the track. Peed, leader at this stage on the 1st lap, now down to 3rd place. Charles Hollings running away, Luke Hines' his teammate in 4th place. Tony Rogers, the white and blue striped car, in 2nd ahead of Edward Peed. Then Hines and Urquhart, and then James Murphy, the dark car, ahead of the next red and white car, and that is Stuart Hall. Well, Robert Urquhart keeping himself in contention, but oh, another one off there, and even more firmly into the barriers goes Sam Schroeder. It's very wet on the grass, lots of rain overnight, and as soon as he took off onto the grass there, went off even further. Sasha Ham in the left-hand side there in the yellow suit, wandering over just to see what had happened. A carbon copy of his accident, but at higher speed. Tony Rogers chasing Charles Hollings and looking threatening as they come down to Tower. This for the lead, down the inside, locks up the inside wheels, keeps it all together though, avoids the collision, avoids running out of road. Nicely judged manoeuvre right on the ragged edge, but that'll do it. And a spin there for the 20 car of James Murphy, drops him a couple of places. That's very bad news indeed. Car park there at Sunny 2 on the back of the flatbed, starting to get quite busy. Tony Rogers leads Charles Hollings, Edward Peed and Luke Hines in close contest as well for this race. Fastest 20 cars in qualifying will start on the front 10 rows of the grid, so these guys now battling for a place on row 11 or row 12 of the feature race. You might think it's kind of academic, but a win here is a win all the same. Maybe a qualifier, but still there's plenty at stake. And off as well has gone Agustin Cancio. The Argentine well out of the way, so that shouldn't cause problems for anyone else. Rogers, Hollings, Peed and Hines out to the hairpin. Nothing to separate these guys, but no chance of a change in the order, I don't think, unless somebody's engine blows right now. Across the line they come, and on to the final lap. Tony Rogers just needs to keep it neat and tidy. He's got the measure of the three drivers behind him. Luke Hines at the tail has closed on this lead trio, and he's the one with most head of steam behind him. This would be a bad time to make a rash move on Edward Peed. Goes down the inside, he'll have to try and come around the outside at Tower now. There's no way of doing that. So Peed holds on to third place for the moment as they head off to the Jim Clark S's. And further back, squabbling to stay in the race. Oh dear, facing, oh my goodness me! And that was Darren Taylor, hit heavily by Emmett O'Brien. Taylor getting it wrong and lifting off as he exited the chicane there backwards, hit heavily by Emmett O'Brien. The leaders coming round to end the lap. Rogers from Hollings, Peed under pressure, but the red flags are out. And here's the way it happened. The 17 car spins, gets off the brake to try and roll out of the way. And Emmett O'Brien had already decided to go to the left where there was some space. The car in front of him rolled into that space. So the result declared a lap earlier. Rogers from Hollings, Peed, Hines, Urquhart, Hall, Simon, Kimber-Smith qualifying for the future. Robert Dahlgren on pole position in his Van Diemen. From Works driver Patrick Long head them away for the feature race. Third place the white and blue car of Jan Halen. Red car is Alan van der Merwe. Richard Goranson in the yellow-nosed Van Diemen. And in sixth place Gary Catt in the all-yellow machine. Banging and boring further back, as always expected in the Formula Ford race. But Robert Dahlgren, the Swede, leads. Patrick Long in second place. And Richard Goranson, the second Works Van Diemen driver, moves around Jan Halen to take third. Some more bumping and boring down there at the hairpin, wheels clashing. But everybody continues through nice and safely. And the qualifiers down right at the back of the field there. Number 40 is Tom Kimber-Smith. Here in another big bunch. Oh, flying up into the air and huge off into the gravel. Major shunt for what looks like one of the Works Miguels. The red cars, the dust clears. It's Robert Bell who's off there. Well, fortunately he's okay, but that's a ride he won't want to repeat. Dahlgren from the Works Van Diemens of Long and Goranson. Then van der Merwe now up to fourth place. Halen down to fifth ahead of Gary Catt. So lots of changes in the top six. Oh, and Halen gets tangled up with van der Merwe. Also spun round is van der Merwe's teammate Wesley Barber, the other red car there. He got hit by Alex Danielson. The third of the Works Van Diemens is Robin Rudholm. He's got jammed in there, and there's Danielson with the nose missing off his car. Runs wide out of the chicane, sheds the nose down the straight. Glad that didn't bounce back into anybody's way. And who's that who's gone off? That's one of the Young Guns cars, the number 6, Charles Hollings. And of course he finished second in the qualifier. And there's his front right corner. Not much use to him over there, really, is it? Well, a big blockage there at the hairpin. Marshall's warning everybody to slow down, but the cars locked together, even without their drivers' red flags. Well, it really was inevitable, wasn't it? So Robert Dahlgren, Patrick Long and the rest will have to go again. So restarting, but with some holes on the grid as they finish the last completed lap. It'll be Dahlgren, Long and Goranson leading them away. Jan Halen in the white car, looking to make a move down the inside. Dahlgren in the black car, defending hard from the Californian Patrick Long. Then Halen, and then Goranson with Gary Catt in fourth place. And oh, Gary Turkington very wide indeed in the fourth Works Van Diemen, car number 4. Just about keeps it together in front of the Works Miguel driver there. So once more Robert Dahlgren will have to do it all again under huge pressure from Patrick Long. Californian driver not content with second place here. It's very tight in the midfield, isn't it? They must have eyes in the back and side of their heads, these guys. Sometimes I really wonder how they ever make it through a race. It's so cut and thrust in Formula Ford. Well, Dahlgren being heavily ganged up against here by Patrick Long and Richard Goranson, the two Works Van Diemen's. Number 7 car of Ryan Sharp picks up a place there, the Young Guns driver. Dahlgren looks as though he's the pace car, holding everybody at a constant speed because the others are all over him. Long and Goranson, and then Halen and Cat and the rest of them. Oh, big slide from Robert Scott there. Car 29 gets hit from behind. Oh, and what's that? That's a Van Diemen on top of Jan Halen, one of the Works cars. And that's a very nasty looking incident. Jan Halen fortunately moving. He's furious. And that is Goranson. So it's Patrick Long who's done the vaulting here. And there, Robert Dahlgren leads from the number 11 car, which is Ronnie Bramer. The Works Miguel drivers come storming up the field at the second restart. But I'm sure there'll be red flags again. Look, there you can see Richard Goranson's car looks like it's jammed in gear. Here is the 7 car Ryan Sharp under pressure from Gary Turkington. Other moves further on as Robert Dahlgren leads from Ronnie Bramer. And, well, there won't be much left of the field if they keep going at this rate. Down the inside goes Wesley Barber, the number 9 car. Did get to restart then. He wasn't damaged in that first big blockage at the hairpin. So Barber there in 5th place ahead of Gary Catt. And Ryan Sharp leading the rest of them through. But red flags once more. Well, it was almost inevitable, really. It'll take the marshals a long time to disentangle those cars. Let's see if we can see. Oh, look at this. Patrick Long, broken front suspension. And when he gets onto the brakes, can't stop, goes over the top of Goranson and Halen, who had both gone around the outside of him. A nasty-looking accident, but fortunately, no one harmed. Well, they'd run out of time at Croft. They were unable to restart the race. No points were awarded, no result was declared. In effect, the race never even happened.